Hello and welcome to a Redstone tutorial. Today I will be showing you the very basics of Redstone, so let's get started. So as you may or may not know, if you put power into a block that has a torch on it, it turns off, and then this can be used to make very complicated circuits that can make fun things that I will demonstrate later. Now this is a repeater block. Now basically it allows for adding delay in your signal. So for example, at the moment, if I turn it on, there will be, if I turn it on, hold on, I think there's a bit of lag now. Okay, if I turn it on, there is no delay between when I press the button and when it came out the other side. Now, if I try it again, but I right click here and I change it a bit, and then if I do it again, there's a there's a bit of a delay between when it turns. And then if I push it again, if I push it to the maximum, which is that, and then I do that, there's a quite big delay. I forget what the number is, but it doesn't matter. And that is basically how this works. Now this can be used to make some more complicated things and fun things such as these. Now these are called clocks. And what they do is that they provide a pulse out on redstones. For example, if I have this and I feed this out and I put this into, for example, a block like this, and I put a torch on top of this, it will flicker. And then that it can be used for making doors slam and stuff like that. Anything that uses a redstone pulse, this can be used for. Note blocks and everything. Now, this one is a simple free repeater one, and this is your typical one. Over here you have a bit of a normal one, and this one is the one that goes pretty fast. It's not the fastest though, because the fastest one uses pistons and it's ridiculously fast, and I'll show you that later. But it's still quite quick, and I think it's the fastest that you can go without burning out redstone. Or maybe you can go with one repeater, I don't know, but this is quite fast. So that's it for the clocks. So this is a piston. Now basically this little thing here has many different uses. Basically what it is that when you put redstone power into it, it pushes and extends the piston like this, and then basically it pushes any block or any animal or anything that was there to over here. Now this is useful for when, for example, you wanted to move things or, you know, move blocks over or even make some cool redstone things. Now, the problem with this type of piston is that it only works one way. It doesn't pull the block back, it leaves it out there. Now this is what sticky pistons are for. This is a sticky piston, and as you can see, it works just the same as the normal piston, but with a slight difference that if you put a block here and then you power it, it does the same, but then when you pull it back, it actually pulls the block back. Now this is a bit more useful in most cases for redstone stuff. The other one is more useful for certain things, I'm not exactly sure what, but this one is most useful for redstone. Now if we come over here to the redstone clock, this is probably the fastest redstone clock that I know of. And in fact, the output is so fast that normal redstone torches will blow out if you try to use it with them. So you need to slow it down a bit. Now, this is so fast that it's actually glitching out at this point. Like, it looks like it's going slow and stuff. But the output on this is it's actually toggling. You can't see it, but because of a glitch, but it's actually toggling. And this is the fastest redstone clock possible. And basically, it's just pulsing so quickly that nothing else except a piston would be able to use this. So if I place a piston here, um, no, not a piston like that. If I place a piston, if I place a piston, well, No, actually, hold on. If I place a piston, as you can see, it's sure enough, it's toggling back and forwards, but it's doing it extremely quickly. Now, what you might want to use this for, I'm not sure because it's just so quick that it's not much use, but this is basically the fastest thing that you can use. Now, I'm going to disable this because it makes lag, but on to the next thing. Now, this here, this little thing here, is an RS NOR latch. Now, basically, this means that when I power this, it turns off the torch over there that used to be on, and then when I toggle it back, it stays. It stays off. And that's what an RS NOR latch is. It keeps the output off. And then if I toggle this, it clears it off, and then it's back on. Basically, what an RS NOR latch does is it holds and keeps the output high. That's all that this does. It keeps the output to what you set it until you clear the other side like that. And basically this is useful because it's basically temporary memory or memory that you can use for example, if you want if you want to make an alarm and as soon as someone trips the pressure plate, it turns the alarm on. This can make it so that when it turns on, so when they jump on it, it turns it on, and then when they turn it off, it stays on, so that only once you come and reset it does the alarm go off. And that's what the RS NOR latch can be used for. Okay, so now we are going to be working on our final project, which is basically me going to take all of the things we've worked on, all of the things I've showed you during this tutorial, and I'm going to make one big project out of it. Now what I'm going to be making here is going to be a simple alarm system to keep people that I don't want out. So I'm going to start by building the RS NOR latch, which is going to remember when someone triggered the alarm, because I wouldn't want someone tripping it and then it only going on for a few seconds, then running away with my stuff. So now that this is made, I can proceed on to making the actual thing. So basically, I'm gonna put my pressure plate over here. Uh, okay, so now you can see that this works. If I come here, well, actually no, but if I come here and then that turns on and that all works good. Now, of course, before this can actually work, you need to reset this side because the way we built it, it came already set up. So now it's set up. So basically, when we want it so that whenever power comes out of this line, we know that the alarm has been tripped. So this is the line we're going to be using. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a block like this. Uh, yeah, a block like this, and then on the other side of this block, we're going to have a wire and then a simple clock. A 3 clock should do for this. We don't need anything super complicated. So, like this. Actually, it needs to be pushed over one. Sorry about that. Uh, uh, uh. Okay. Okay, so now that this is done, we set the delay so that it is set on the high delay so that it will work the way we need it to. And then we will power it, and then we'll disconnect the power. And now here's when you need to be quick. You need to delete this redstone and then place another one really quickly so that we can activate the clock. And I just failed there because it deleted the dirt as well. So let's try that again. Okay, so here we go. There we go. That was a success. So now what I'm gonna do is that, as you can see, now we've got this flashing here. Now basically this means that it's working. Now what we're gonna do now is have this here, and we're gonna put this into a block. Now you haven't seen this yet, but this is called an inverter, and basically what this does is it takes the signal that was out inputted and inverts it. So if it was on before, it makes it off. And why we would want this is because well, it's because basically, well, it's a bit hard to explain, but anyways. So, actually, no, I don't think we want this here. Never mind. So, we'll move this onto here, and now we're going to have our note block because we want it to make some noise when someone's going to break into our house. And we're going to place our note block here. Now, as you can see, it's going to be making sound because the note block with redstone makes noise. And this is actually not what we want, so I'm going to go and fix this quick. We actually want the reset on this side and the thing for the alarm on this side. So you place this here, and there you go. So now I'm going to reset it, and then it's going to work. Okay, so now as you can see, the music is not playing. It's making no sound. Actually, hold on. Okay, so now as you can see, it's making no sound whatsoever at the moment. Now, when I'm going to step on this, hear that it's making, even though I'm standing on it's still making. Now, reason how this works, the latch keeps high after that. So basically, in this case, it's actually keeping it high, it's keeping it low, but that doesn't really. The important thing is that it's keeping the signal. So it's going into here, and the reason why we have this is because so that in case it is not activated, there's power in this wire. If there's power in cable, we do not want to make noise. And all it does that when there is no power in this line, connects this loop to this, and all this is it's the between them. Because if I were to reset it, now there's power coming in this line, and that makes it so that this torch is always off and this is not looping. And this was a simple little project. I hope you've learned something from this tutorial. See you in the next tutorial. We will learn about gates in the next tutorial, I think.